Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Full Court Press MMA. I am your host, Drew Duncan. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is all at Drew Duncan83. Additionally, you can find the Full Court Press MMA on all social media outlets as well. Guys, I am super excited to have our next guest on the program. Though she comes in with an 0-2 record, she does have something else backing her, and that is our United States military. She has been a member now for the last 17 and a half years serving our country. Her name is Rebecca Lynn Adney, and you won't like her when she gets angry because she is AKA She-Hulk, and she's right here on the Full Court Press MMA. Rebecca, thank you so much for taking time to join us today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome, Rebecca. And, one of the cool things, I got to stand in front of Hoist Gracie one time. And I know that Hoist Gracie has been working with the military now for, I believe it's over the last 2 years with Jujitsu training and whatnot. Can you give some insight as to how you think Jujitsu training, more specifically Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, will help our service members like yourself?
So really it's used for our close quarters training. And although I have never experienced this, we have the infantry and a lot of other military people out there who unfortunately, have to they get put in situations where they end up getting, that close to individuals. So knowing how to actually defend yourself if, someone's getting close to you, I think could really, save people's lives.
Rebecca, being in the military is something that goes beyond special. It's not something that everybody can do. It's not something that is for everybody. Can you explain what kind of a day in the life is for somebody that is serving in our service and what it means to you to be a part of that community?
Of course. So, it's in the military, it's kind of different for everyone because, we all have our different jobs, but from my experiences, every morning, we always joke, especially being older, we're like, because every morning you have to get up and do physical training. It's mandatory. You have to do it. So, a lot of people, especially the younger generation that comes in, a lot of them don't, I won't say want to do it, but they're not used to doing that type of activity. So we're like, put everything into it because it's free. Like, you're not paying for a gym membership. You're coming in here, you're getting your exercise, and you never know when you're going to have to, get put in that situation to have to, put those physical demands in. So it helps everyone. And then, usually I hate to put hours on our work schedule, but, we do that for about an hour. And then, 9 o'clock we come in, and it changes day to day, on what we have to do. But we come in there and, soldiers, we have your E4 and below, so they're our workhorses. But we also work as NCOs, and every job's different. But I'm in air defense artillery, so we got to make sure we maintain our equipment. We go to the field. Sometimes we're out there for 2 weeks to train and certify our equipment. So when we actually do get deployed, that we know how to do our job. Because, when we go over there, we're actually defending the skies, against ballistic missiles and those type of threats. And then about 5 p.m., we get done, and then immediately I go straight from there, and I go straight to training. Sometimes I actually wake up before I go to physical training at about 4 o'clock, go to the gym, and then I also train. That's where I get my work in, and then at night I usually get my MMA training in. And I usually don't get home until about 8:30, 9 o'clock every night. So it's a pretty hectic life. And then throw in I stopped going to taking college classes when I got back from this last deployment, but I'm going to start again. So I'll also have to throw that into there. So it's going to be a lot of late nights, but it's worth it.
Boy, what an exceptionally busy lady. We're talking to Rebecca Lynn Adney, a.k.a. the She-Hulk. Rebecca, you and I were talking a little bit before we went on air that you are originally from Wisconsin. And one of the things that I know that my cousin has really enjoyed about the military is being able to travel to so many different places. What is for you the best memory that you have, or maybe the coolest place that you've ever had the opportunity to travel to outside of your home state of Wisconsin?
So I'd have to say Germany by far, because I actually got to see a lot of cool stuff over there. It's not like the States. Over there, you can just like jump in your car on like, we sometimes get 4-day weekends. So you just jump in your car, go to Italy, go to Spain. Like, it's not like driving from California to New York where you take like a 4-day trip. It's only maybe a couple hours drive to different countries, but that was by far the best experiences I've ever had, just because I got to see so many different things, and I was only there for 2.5 years. So it was a great experience.
Did you get a chance to jump on the Autobahn at all?
Oh yes, I definitely drove down that thing. That funny story, because like when I first drove down it, I don't remember where we were going, but I was just in a little Nissan Sentra because I had my car over there. And you would see minivans, like family cars, just like race past you, like a bat out of hell. Like you're like, what the heck? Did I just get passed by a van? Yes, absolutely.
You would never see that here in the States. My goodness.
No.
Rebecca, you've been in the military now for 17 and a half years, but you also have an MMA career. Where do you find the time and the energy, more importantly? Because you gave us a complete breakdown a couple of moments ago about a day in the life for Rebecca. How do you find the balance? How do you get the time? How do you keep the drive, the passion? I mean, what is it that keeps you going through this rigorous schedule?
So it takes a lot, and I'll tell you, it takes a lot more when you start getting older, because I started late anyways, training in 2011, so I was already older. But the older you get, I'm not going to lie, the harder it is, because it's like, you're still waking, like, I won't say I force myself to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to work out, but it's almost like, your alarm goes off, and you're like, oh my God, do I have to get up? Like, it's really rough, but I love it. It's done a lot for me. Like I tell people, it's like the best stress reliever. No matter what you're going through in life or at work, once you start training at night, especially, like the gloves come off, because I tell people, no matter what's going through my mind, or everything that I've had to go through during the day, you have to let that go, because if you don't, like, you're not gonna take in everything that you learn, like everything that your coach is trying to tell you. So yeah, it's rough. Like, it's very rough, but it's a passion. Like, I love it. And if I didn't love it, there's no way that I would wake up that early to work out, let alone, train that late at night. Cause it's literally like, I'm constantly, like, I won't say gone, but I'm constantly not at home.
I think most of us are upset if we have to be out of bed before 8 a.m. and here you are, 4 o'clock in the morning, rise and grind. But you know what, though? That's what it takes, Rebecca. There are so many people, I think. My concern about MMA has been that it is growing into a fad. And I've been talking about this now for probably a good year and a half. It's not something that everybody can do. It's definitely not meant for everybody. What would you tell somebody that wants to be an MMA fighter, a boxer, whatever the case is? What's the biggest key element that you would give to them as advice?
So I've actually been asked that question before. Because people, I think sometimes they want to get into it, but they're like, oh, like they see what I put myself through, so that they're kind of like, holy crap, like. But it's just like anything else. So I kind of try to tell people, like, is where this sounds like MMA is kind of like my hobby. I only say this because, the military is 24/7 for me. So like that always comes first. So unlike some people who want to turn, like I have a friend who he fights, like that's what he's going to do. Like that's his career. But I tell people, come in there, like it takes drive, it takes determination, it takes motivation. And when some people see me, they're like, oh, yeah, like, you're really good. I'm like, well, you don't start out like that. I was like, I sucked when I first started. Like, I did. Like, I was horrible. Like, I'll go back and look at video from, like, when I first started, I was like, oh, my God, like, look at me. Like, I look I look horrible, but we all start somewhere, and it's just honestly something that you have to love, and you have to like to do it. Just like bodybuilders or people who get into like figure competitions. If they didn't like to do that, or they didn't have the drive to do it, like they're not going to make it, because they're gonna lose it. And I tell people not to get frustrated, because it's easy to get frustrated in MMA, especially when you first start, and you're training with people who know more or are better than you. And it's like, even when I go on deployment and I don't get to train for a year and I come back, like when I got back from this last deployment, the first time I got in there and actually sparred, like I was so frustrated with myself, because I felt like I had taken, steps backwards, because I'd been gone for so long. But, you got to sit there and look at it and be like, well, I haven't trained in a year. Like, I'm doing this good. I'm not doing that good. But it just takes a lot of, I tell people, drive, motivation, and determination, because, we all start from somewhere, whether you have a background or not. And I never had a background in any type of mixed martial art coming into it.
We're talking to Rebecca Lynn Adney, a.k.a. She-Hulk, right here on the Full Court Press MMA. I am your host, Drew Duncan. Rebecca, we know that you are in the military. We know that you're a professional MMA fighter, and from your Facebook Live, I can see that you're a damn good partier. Why don't you tell us something that we don't know?
Put me on the spot, huh?
I sure did.
So I'll talk about my family, because I love them to death.
Mm-hmm.
So I have two brothers. I have a twin brother. No one ever suspects that.
No, I didn't.
The giant. Yeah, I have a twin brother. So it's pretty cool. We've been pretty close, our whole life. And, when I first actually started fighting, especially my parents, like, more so than my brothers, because, I used to roughhouse it with them when I was a kid. But they were really worried when I first started fighting. My first amateur fight, I got beat up pretty bad. But I came out of it, and I was like, I was sending pictures to my mom. My face was all beat up, and she was like, "Oh my God!" I was like, "I'm okay. I'm all right. I'll be okay." I just thought, because it was my first experience, even though I got beat up pretty bad. Like, it was one of the best experiences I've ever had in like any sporting competition, just because all that hard blood, sweat, tears that you put into training, and then you get in there and you actually do it. But over the years, as time has went on, but actually, like, once my mom saw, I was getting the training that I needed, and I could actually go in there and be okay, and nothing, horrendous is going to happen to me. Because they always supported me, but now they really support me, and hopefully one day I can get on Invicta. And I told my parents, if I ever make it there, that I'm going to buy them a plane ticket and fly them out there to watch me fight.
I got beat up, and it was the best day of my life. Rebecca Lynn Adney. Rebecca, this is I don't think I've ever heard, by the way, I've never heard anybody say I got beat up and it was the greatest experience ever in the same sentence. Rebecca, this is the part of the show where I give my interviewees an opportunity to say whatever it is that's on their mind. There's no right or wrong answer here. The floor is 100% yours.
So I just want, some shout outs. So I recently just started training with a new team. I was another coach, so I started with a new coach. And I love the new gym. It's Strike Kings out of Copper's Cove. I don't have a whole lot to say because I haven't fought, underneath them, but I'm super excited to be there. And there's a lot of people there who, stand by me, and there's a lot of good teammates over there. So hopefully I can get this fight at the end of April and, show myself and show everyone else, that it's a really good gym, really good people. I also want to thank my manager. So Jason Adams, he's really awesome. I actually had a different manager. I just recently, switched to him. I don't even remember. I think it was when I was deployed, to be honest with you. He's been nothing but great. I haven't fought underneath him yet as a manager, but he's absolutely amazing. He's not just a manager to me. He's a friend. Like, I've been fighting him a couple times about, stuff going on. He's very understanding, great guy. And for all the people, out there wishing or hoping or wanting to get into not just MMA, but, you know, anything they want to push themselves through. They just got to, you know, keep that drive, determination, like hold on to that one thing that's going to get you through it, because, you know, anything that we want in life is definitely not easy. It's usually a struggle when we want something that bad. But, you know, to everyone else, you know, never give up on your hopes and dreams, and, you know, keep driving forward.
Her name is Rebecca.
That was really short.
It's all good. Her name is Rebecca Lynn Adney, a.k.a. She-Hulk. My name is Drew Duncan. Rebecca, thank you so much for your service, and thank you so much for joining the program.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. All right, everybody. I am Drew Duncan, host of the Full Court Press MMA. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is all at Drew Duncan 83. Don't forget to use the hashtag Don't You Dare Touch That Dial. And as always, don't you dare touch that dial.